Well, hello, I'm Cedrick LaFleur, and I'm excited to be here with you today. I know that you're excited. Hopefully, you're having a great conference, and I just want you to know that I'm here to talk with you about owning your dream. Now, every day, two guys would take lunch. They were factory workers, and one of the guys pulled out his lunch pail. And when he opened up his lunch pail and pulled out a sandwich, he looked at it and said, "Oh my God, it's a bologna sandwich." He goes, "This is the third time this week I've had a bologna sandwich. I don't know why I keep having bologna sandwiches." He goes, "I don't like bologna. I hate bologna. In fact, I don't want to eat another bologna sandwich." Well, his friend said, "Just relax, man. It's going to be okay. You don't have to have bologna a sandwich." He says, "Next time, tell your wife, don't fix you a bologna sandwich and it'll be okay." Now he looks back at his friend and he says, "Leave my wife out of this. I fix my own lunch every day." You see, most of the bologna we have in our lives, we pack it in our lunch pail. The question I have for you is, what bologna are you packing in your lunch pail? What bologna are you cooking into your life every day? What bologna are you thinking into your life consistently? What bologna are you carrying from the last relationship into this new relationship? What bologna are you carrying from last year into this year? See, we are the reasons for the burdens in our lives. Now, today, I want to talk with you about dreaming big. And when I say big, I mean really big. Right? So we're going to take a deep dive in owning your dream. But what I want you to understand is you must own your dream. See, it can't be your mom's dream. It can't be your dad's dream. It can't be Big Mama's dream. It can't be your spouse's dream. It has to be your dream. Your dream. I want you to think about that for a second. Whatever that dream is, it just has to be your dream. So let's get going. My wife and I married at 17 and 19 years old at the start of her senior year of high school. By 29, we were living the American dream. You know, new house, new cars, two little children. The only thing we didn't have was the white picket fence. Oh, nor the money to afford it. We were broke. We were bankrupt. We had expenses that were here and income that was here. 70% of Americans living the American dream actually live paycheck to paycheck. But we were tired of that. We didn't want bologna in our lives forever. We wanted some ground beef. We knew there had to be a better way. There just had to be. So we went on a search for financial literacy and found Charles J. Givens. You see, before Dave Ramsey, there was Charles J. Givens, author of Wealth Without Risk. Every Saturday for 2 months, I drove 2 hours round trip to listen to Charles speak. He told me it would cost $200 for his financial literacy system, but I didn't have the money. Can you believe that? Think about this now. We were living in a $100,000 house in 1996, driving 2 new cars, totaling about $40,000. But we couldn't come up with $200 between the two of us. Pathetic, just pathetic, I know. But eventually we came up with the $200 and it changed our lives forever. From 29 to 35, we followed the plan, being very consistent and intentional, consistent and intentional, consistent and intentional. And by 35, we fixed those financial issues. Then we set new goals to go to a higher level, retire by 50 and save $1 million. Here comes that consistency and intentionality again. Consistency and intentionality. Consistency and intentionality. We hit the goal by 48. When you know what you want and you start being intentional about it, roadblocks move, alibis go away, and opportunity starts coming your way. You no longer eat bologna, you put ground beef away, and you start eating steak. It's the moment you go from ordinary to extraordinary. The only difference between ordinary and extraordinary is extra. The only difference between hot water and boiling water is 1 degree. You see, at 211 degrees, water's hot. At 212 degrees, water boils. With boiling water comes steam. With steam, you can power a train. The only difference between winning and losing is belief. The only difference between a person reaching their full potential and not reaching their full potential is desire. When you decide today you're going to do the things that no one else will do, so tomorrow you can do the things that no one else can do, that's the day your life will change forever. If ordinary people gave a little extra effort, spent a little extra time, sought a little extra help, possessed a little extra realism, made a little extra change, exercised a little extra thinking, showed a little extra attitude, did a little extra planning, they too would become extraordinary. I'm asking you, I encourage you, I challenge you, put a little extra in your life. Now let's go to work. Woo, let's go to work. You know, I told you that I wanted you to dream big. And when I say big, I mean really big. So let's get running with this. And let me tell you what, folks, stay with me, follow along the process. I'm going to help you by the end of this time, our time together. I'm going to help you understand how to own your dream. Now, I have a question for you. Are you living in your comfort zone? Are you trapped in your comfort zone? You know, comfort zone is characterized as doing the same things in the same ways with the same people at the same time, getting the same results, but still asking the question, why? Why is my life trapped here? Why am I not reaching my goals? Why I'm not living out my dreams? You may be trapped in the comfort zone. You know, the law of the rubber band says growth stops when we lose the tension between where we are and where we want to be. And let me tell you what, folks, you can never stay within your comfort zone. So the questions you have to ask yourself in order to get outside your comfort zone, to know if you're not in, to know if you're in your comfort zone, is you got to ask yourself, who stretches me? Who are the people or persons I should be around that challenges my thought process, that helps me go to another level? Then you need to be around those people more often. You see, sometimes we try to run away from those people. We'll say they think they know too much. No, those are the people we need to be around because they're going to help us go to a higher level. The next question you have to ask yourself is, what stretches me? What are the things I could be doing or should be doing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis that stretches me, that challenges me, that makes me get outside of my comfort zone? You see, the comfort zone happens when you're just cruising along. When you're great at everything every day, that means you're in your comfort zone. That means you're not stretching. That means you're not growing. You're not going to that next level. And we want to get you to go to that next level. But now, let me tell you something. Once you ask yourself those questions and you answer them, you have to also then check the people around you. So just for a second, I want you to look around you. Look at the people that's on the side of you, that's on the left side of you, on the right side of you, in front of you, and in back of you. Look at them. Now see if any of those people are just average. You see, average will try to keep you average. See, average people will be the ones that will try to discourage you from reaching your dreams. Now, look at the person next to you. Are they a person that try to discourage you from reaching your dreams? They don't want you to try nothing new. They don't want you to go above and beyond. They say, just do enough just to get by. If they're one of those people, then you need to get rid of them in your life. See, average will always try to keep you average. Now, you have to make sure that you're not that average person, okay? So now, let me tell you this. Once you've tasted significance, success will never satisfy. Let me say that again because I need to make sure that you get it. Once you have tasted significance, success will never satisfy. So you say, well, what's the difference between significance and success, Cedrick? Well, let me tell you. See, success is adding value to yourself. Significance is adding value to other people. And when we're outside of our comfort zone, we are looking to be significant. Tell your neighbor, I brought you here so you could be significant. Now, I want you to look back at your neighbor when they tell you that, and then I want you to tell them, that's why I'm here. All right, let's keep going. I want to talk with you about this process about dreams, specifically your dream, not anybody else's dream, just your dream. I want to take you through the first question from John Maxwell's book, Put Your Dream to the Test, which is the ownership question. And that question is your dream really your dream? See, most people don't live out their own dreams. They find it safer to please their parents, their spouse, their significant other, everybody else in their life instead of living their dream. Or are you one of those people? See, they constantly live under a yoke of duty and begin to define success by how much money they make or how many people approve of their decisions. That means that they're living in their comfort zone. You see, while this pattern of life is common, it keeps me awake at night to know that so many people are giving up on what they were created for in an attempt to find success inside someone else's dream. It's time for you to live your dream. See, Les Brown says it like this. He was right when he said, find out what it is you want and go after it as if your life depends on it. Why? Because it does. See, the question is your dream really your dream? See, your life depends on your dream, not somebody else's dream, but your dream. Now, I'm going to give you an example right out of scripture. If we look at King Solomon, right? I love this principle that King Solomon had. It's called the 70-25-5 rule. 70-25-5 rule. If you go to 1 King chapter 10, 1 through 9, it really displays this. And so let's kind of walk through it a little bit, right? And this is around playing to your strengths. Right? See, great leaders play to their strengths. They don't spend vast amounts of time attempting to be a jack of all trades. Instead, they deepen their ability to do what they do best until they do it as well as anyone. You see, when I hear people say that they're a jack of all trades, I know that they're not the right people for me, for my job, for my responsibility. I want someone who can do something so well that I would pay them double for it. You see, that means that they are doing something to the point that they are a master at it, that they are extremely good at it. Solomon certainly lived by this principle. See, God made him the wisest and the richest king of his day. Look at, 1 King 3, 12 and 13, right? Other monarchs heard of his wisdom and his wealth, and they eagerly sought an audience with him. See, from all over the world, people would come to talk to him. Powerful rulers from distant lands made their trek to Israel to catch a glimpse of this young phenom. Solomon provided rich counsel. He provided gifts to others, and he quickly became known for his breadth of mind and his depth of insight. He knew what he was doing and what he was saying. So how did Solomon gain such fame? See, he focused on what he did best. He focused on what he did best. See, leaders would be wise to follow a similar pattern called the 70-25-5 principle. Right? That means give 70% of your time to areas of your strength. Give 25% of time to areas that you want to improve on, and spend only 5% of your time in areas of weakness. See, too many people spend so much of their time worrying about a weakness where they should be spending the majority of their time working on their strengths, working in areas that they can improve, that they want to improve on. See, countless athletes play multiple sports when they're kids, but the ones who go on to play at the college level and professionally almost always give up the sport that they play well to focus on a sport that they can be great in. right? See, the same applies to you. Identify your natural strengths and pursue them with passion. In fact, pursue them with unbridled passion. See, research even bears this out. See, for years, there's a service in the United States that's called Gallup, and Gallup has studied the advantages of developing strengths instead of trying to fix weaknesses. One of the findings says people who use their strengths every day are 6 times more likely to be engaged on the job. They're 6 times more likely to be successful. See, you won't push yourself to new heights if your heart isn't in your work. Ooh, let me say that again. You won't push yourself to new heights if your heart isn't in the work. Now, this is why it's important for you to understand, is your dream really your dream? Let's keep going. See, there are 4 common reasons why people have trouble identifying their dream, and I want to share those with you. The very first one is some people have been discouraged from dreaming by others. How many of you have been discouraged to live your dream? Think about that for a second. Are you one of those people who's been discouraged over the years? You see, let me give you an example with some monkeys who were pulling each other down. See, we've all been pulled down by others at some point in our lives, right? Have you been one of those people that's been pulled down? Or have you been one of the people that's pulling other people down? So let me share with you this experiment that these researchers did with these 4 monkeys. Now, what they did is they brought 4 monkeys in a closed room, and they had a tree for them to climb to the top where there was a big bucket of bananas. Now, automatically, when the monkeys came in the room, the first monkey started to go straight up the tree. But when the monkey got right close to the bananas where he could grab them, he was doused with a bunch of cold water. Now the monkey ran back down the tree. Then the second monkey, what did they do? They saw the bananas and they ran up the tree. And as he got close to the bananas, he got doused with a bunch of cold water and he ran right back down the tree. You can see what happened. See, the next few monkeys tried to climb and each monkey was doused and each of them came back down the tree. And then they took one monkey out of the room and replaced him with another monkey who had not gone through the water dousing experience, right? And automatically the new monkey tried to climb the tree, but the other 3 monkeys that had been through the water dousing experience tried to pull the monkey down. Now, they wouldn't let him climb that tree. See, there's no need for water now because the other monkeys were pulling them down. You know what I'm saying, right? Think about that moment in your life or in your career when someone else had a bad experience and they tried to pull you down. Think about that for a second. Slowly, the researchers pulled one monkey out of the room until there were no monkeys in the room that had gone through the bad water experience. So now there are 4 monkeys in the room who had never been doused with water, but they kept pulling each other down so that they wouldn't reach the bananas. But they didn't know why they were doing it. But they pulled each other down anyway. See, each of us have been pulled down by people who have not necessarily experienced something bad in an area, but they have heard of someone that has been pulled down, that have gone through a bad experience before. So they try to pull you down. You see what I'm saying? I know you see what I'm saying. If you understand what I'm saying, if you can see what I'm saying, go ahead and clap your hands. Let me hear it. Number 2, some people are hindered by past disappointments and hurts. See, disappointment is the gap between expectation and reality. Number 3, some people get in the habit of settling for average. You see, 3 of the 4 common reasons for not identifying dreams is because some people get in a habit of settling for average. You see, average will always try to keep you average. Columnist Maureen Dowd said it this way. She says, the minute you settle for less than you deserve, you get even less than you settled for. Kenneth Hildebrand said this. He says, the poorest of all men is not the one without a nickel to his name. He is the fellow without a dream. He is like a great ship made for the mighty ocean, but trying to navigate in a mill pond. He has no far port to reach, no lifting horizon, no precious cargo to carry. His hours are observed in routine and petty tyrannies. Small wonder if he gets dissatisfied and fed up. See, one of life's greatest tragedies is a person with a 10 by 12 capacity, but a 2 by 4 soul. I don't want you to be that one. I don't want you to be that person. And the fourth reason for not identifying dreams is some people lack the confidence needed to pursue their dreams. Irma Bombeck said this. She says, it takes a lot of courage to show your dreams to someone else. Woo, man, I tell you, it takes a lot of courage to show your dream to someone else. Let's keep going. So here are a few hints that might help you answer the question, is my dream my dream? See, no one will stand up and die a death for you. So why let them live life for you? You see? Now, when your dream is someone else's dream, it will be a weight on your shoulders. But when it's your dream, it will put wind beneath your wings. It will put wings on your shoulders. See, when the dream is someone else's dream, it will put you to sleep. When it's your dream, it will keep you up at night. When it's someone else's dream, it will be fulfilling to others. When it's your dream, it's going to be fulfilling to you. You know what I'm saying, right? When it's someone else's dream, you will need someone else to make you do it. When it's your dream, you will get out of bed excited about doing it. It's going to give you that extra that you need. And see, let me tell you what, the only difference between ordinary and extraordinary is extra. Now, I know the word is extraordinary, but I don't like that word. I like the word extraordinary. See, the only difference between hot water and boiling water is 1 degree. You see, at 211 degrees, water's hot. At 212 degrees, water boils. With boiling water comes steam. With steam, you can power a train. The only difference between winning and losing is belief. The only difference between a person reaching their full potential and not reaching their full potential is desire. So you must be willing to put a little extra in your life. It makes all the difference in the world to you, in your family, in your relationships, at home, at work, anywhere. It makes all the difference in the world. Be like King Solomon. Now, the first thing you have to do to own your dream is you have to bet on yourself. If you don't bet on yourself, who else will? As John Maxwell says, you may succeed if nobody else believes in you, but you will never succeed if you don't believe in yourself. See, simply put, if you want to succeed, you need to believe that you can. You have to leave your comfort zone. See, some people will say things that they don't have time. Well, let me tell you what, folks, that's the greatest lie that's ever been told. You have time. Let me show you how I know that you have time. It doesn't matter where you live. You can live in the United States. You can live in in Canada, you can live in Latin America, you can live in Kenya. You have time. So you have 86,400 seconds in every day. So you have time. You have 168 hours in every week. You have time. You have 730 hours in every month. You have time. You have 8,760 hours in every year. So you have time. See, it doesn't matter about how much money you have or how little you have. We all have the same amount of time. See, I can't buy more time than you have, and you can't buy more time than I have. So what we have to do is we have to use the time that we have to live our dreams and to bet on ourselves. So see, you must make the time. You must be willing to bet on yourself. Woo, I tell you what, I'm excited, folks. You got me sweating over here. I am excited about helping you understand how you can live your dream. It doesn't matter how much resources you have or how little resources you have. If you bet on yourself, you'll find the time to make it happen. Now let's keep going. Number 2, you have to lead your life. Don't just accept it. Woo, I got to say that one again. It's so good. Lead your life. Don't just accept it. See, most people sit back and they wish and they wait for life to happen. See, I can assure you that no successful plan has ever included that strategy. Oprah Winfrey said it this way: understand that the right to choose your own path is a sacred privilege. Use it. Dwell in the possibilities. See, I love that. See, dwell in the possibilities. It will propel you to lead your life. See, some people, family, friends, spouse, big mama, Uncle Charlie, cousin Willie, all of them, they may not see your dream. That's okay. God didn't give it to them. He gave it to you for a reason. See, when you die, he is not going to ask you, folks, how well did you live somebody else's dream? He is not going to say, how well did you live your mama's dream, your daddy's dream, your spouse's dream? He's not going to ask you that question. What he is going to ask you, though, is how well did you do with the tools and the skills and the resources and the dream that I gave you? That's what he's going to ask you. Now, let me take you through this exercise right quick. Now, I need you to trust me. You're way over in Kenya and I'm here in the United States. So just trust me, bear with me. Now, for 10 seconds, I want you to close your eyes. I'm going to tell you in just a second. I want you to close your eyes. Okay, I'll tell you when to close. But here's what I want you to do. And I'm watching, so I don't know if you close your eyes or not. See, you're not going to be able to cheat on me. So I need you to close your eyes when I tell you to. So here is what I want you to do. When your eyes are closed, I want you to dream your biggest dream. I want you to feel it like you have it right now. Let's say it's $1 million you want. I want you to, when you close your eyes, I want you to envision that you have the money right now in your hands. Napoleon Hill in the book Think and Grow Rich says you have to visualize it so much that you can see it crystal clear, like you have it right now. He says, if you cannot visualize it, you will never realize it in your bank account. So what I want you to do is whatever your dream is, if it's owning your own business, if it's getting that promotion at work, if it's whatever, I want you to dream about it for these next 10 seconds. And I want you to just envision that you have it right now. Okay, are we ready? Let's go. On the count of 3, you're going to close your eyes. 1, 2, 3. All eyes closed. Now I want you to dream 1,001. 1,002. Dream your biggest dream. 1,003. 1,004. 1,005. You have it right now. Visualize it. 1,006. 1,007. 1,008. You can touch it. You can feel it. You can see it. 1,009. 1,010. Now open your eyes. Now, if you go ahead and open your eyes now. Touch the person next to you. Say, go ahead and open your eyes now. The dream's over. Okay. Now, well, here's what I want you to do. I want you to, well, if I ask you right now to tell me what was the person to the left of you dreaming, you probably would not be able to tell me. I want you to think about, if I ask you right now, the person that is 2 rows up front, in front of you, what were they dreaming? You wouldn't be able to tell me. If I asked you to tell me the person who is to the right of you, what were they dreaming? You wouldn't be able to tell me. If I asked you to tell me the person that's directly behind you, what were they dreaming? You wouldn't be able to tell me. And here's the thing. Because the dream is not yours. The dream is their dream. You're supposed to see your dream. So when somebody else doesn't believe in your dream, that's okay. They were not supposed to see it. They're not supposed to believe in it. You're supposed to believe in it. So it's your dream. You believe in your dream. Let them worry about their own dream. Their dream is their dream, but your dream is for you. So you have to be willing to live it. Lead your life. Don't just accept it. Let's keep going. Number 3, love what you do and do what you love. I love that so much. I'll have to say it again. Love what you do and do what you love. In fact, I want you guys to say it for me as well. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Love what you do and do what you love. Love what you do and do what you love. You know, former CEO of Hewlett Packard, Carly Fiorina said it this way. She says, don't make a choice of any kind, whether in a career or in life, just because it pleases others, because it ranks high on someone else's scale of achievement. Make the choice to do something because it engages your heart as well as your mind. Make the choice because it engages all of you. Woo, man, that sounds so good when you say that. See, successful people see and seize their dreams because they love what they do and they do what they love. See, if your success looks good to the world but doesn't feel good in your soul, it's not success at all, folks. It's not success at all. Own your dream. There is a great chance that it will seem outrageous to the onlooker. And that's what you really want, right? But don't let what they think slow you down. Never, ever, never, ever, never, ever let what they think slow you down. So, you know, some time ago, there was a man that punished his 3-year-old daughter for wasting a roll of golden wrapping paper. You know, that gold wrapping paper must have been expensive. See, money was tight and he became infuriated when the child tried to decorate a box to put under the Christmas tree. Nevertheless, the little girl brought the gift to her father the next morning and said, "This is for you, Daddy." Now, the man became embarrassed by his overreaction earlier, but his rage continued when he saw that the box was empty. Now, he yelled at his daughter, "Don't you know when you give someone a present, there is supposed to be something inside?" Well, the little girl was disappointed and she started to tear up, and she looked at her father with tears in her eyes and she cried out, "Oh, Daddy, it's not empty at all. I blew kisses into the box. They're all for you, Daddy." Now the father was crushed. He put his arms around his little girl and he begged her for forgiveness. Only a short time later, an accident took the life of that little girl. Now her father, he was definitely distraught and disappointed. He kept the gold box by his bed for many years, and whenever he was discouraged, he would take out an imaginary kiss and remember the love of the child that had put it there. You see, the moral of the story is love and life are the most precious gifts in the world. Love what you do and do what you love. Let me share some words with you that John Greenleaf Whittier said. I really like this. And he says, "For all sad words of tongue and pen, the saddest are these: it might have been. It might have been. Remember, like you said about your dream 3 years ago, I was going to do something, but you never did it. It might have been if I would have done it. Remember that time you gave up on yourself and you thought you had the best idea in the world, but you gave up because somebody else didn't believe in it. Let me tell you, folks, that's not the way to live. That's not the way that God wants you to live. He has plenty of examples of people around the world that he made, that he created, to show you that they came from meager beginnings. They didn't have a lot of resources. They didn't have a lot of things. But he gave them a dream. They took it and they ran with it. And now they're living their dream. Now, what I want you to do is to make sure, it's very important for me that you don't end up falling prey like Elijah Gray. Now you may say, well, who is Elijah Gray? Well, let me tell you, back in 1875, Elijah Gray transmitted a few notes over telegraph wire and thought he could send music next. And he said, if I can send music, then I can send words and I can send voice. Now, the New York Times predicted the coming of this talking telegraph, and the public grew eager for it. Just 1 year later, Gray believed that he had the answer: 10 can voice chambers connected by a wire and a liquid that could turn vibrations into signals. But he didn't put it on paper for another 2 months. So now he's waited 1 year and 2 months, and he still hasn't done anything with it yet. After finally making a sketch, he waited 4 more days. So now we're 1 year, 2 months, and 4 days into it before he decided to go to the patent office. Well, when he arrived at the patent office, Mr. Gray was told that a mere 2 hours earlier, a school teacher by the name of Alexander Graham Bell had burst through the doors with his own sketch. And of course, you know the rest of the story, right? So don't end up like Elijah Gray. And if you don't know the rest of the story, Alexander Graham Bell is credited for the telephone invention. Don't end up like Elijah Gray. See, you will never find the perfect time to pursue your dream, so you might as well start right now. If you wait another year, you will find yourself a year older and not a step closer to your dream. So what's holding you back from getting started today? What's holding you back from getting started right now? What's holding you back from going from ordinary to extraordinary? What's holding you back from winning in life versus losing in life? What's holding you back? I want to tell you, see, if you think it's impossible, it isn't. If you think you know everything, you don't. If you think you are alone, you're not. There are a lot of dreamers out there that never make it happen. Now, there was a guy named Rich DeVos here in the U.S., and Rich DeVos is he was the owner of the Orlando Magic basketball team, professional basketball team, and also the founder of a company called Amway. Now, Rich DeVos needed a heart transplant. Now, he got on the donor list, and after some time had passed, he received his heart transplant. And when he went through recovery, and he later had dinner with the lady who gave him her heart. Now, you might say, well, wait a minute, that's impossible. How can you give your heart and then still be alive to have dinner with someone? Well, you see, the lady that needed a heart transplant, the lady that gave her heart needed a lung transplant. And sometimes in lung transplantation, it's better if the lung and the heart come together from another donor. So she received a heart and a lung from someone else, and then that made her heart become available for Rich. So Rich got her heart. Now, that's always a fantastic story to hear and to understand. I share that story with you because it's important that you understand. If you think it's impossible, it isn't. If you think you know everything, you don't. If you think you are alone, you're not. Now, before we wrap up, I want to play this video for you. And I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it's important that you understand how to live your dream. And the dream must be yours. It can't be somebody else's dream. And let's play this video. We're going to come back and then we're going to wrap up after this.
Every day in Africa, in the safari, a lion wakes up. And every single day in the safari, a gazelle wakes up. Now, this is critical. What's the difference between a gazelle and what's the difference between the lion? What I discovered is the gazelle is running from something. So as long as the lion is chasing the gazelle is running. But as soon as the lion stops chasing the gazelle, it stops. And that's a lot of you in this room. You will run. You'll do what you're supposed to do. As long as you're getting pushed, as long as you're getting motivated, as long as somebody is encouraging you, as long as somebody's coaching you, as long as somebody's pushing you, as long as somebody's prodding you, you're doing what you're supposed to do. As long as somebody's calling you, as long as someone is enticing you, as long as somebody's giving you rewards, you're moving. But as soon as that stops, you stop. I asked myself the question about the lion, and I said the lion is not running to be rewarded. The lion is running to eat. Because the lion realizes when he kills the gazelle, not only does he eat the gazelle, but he brings it back home. So you've got to ask yourself, what's your why? What motivates you? What pushes you? What drives you? And if that thing is internal, if nobody has to call you, if nobody has to prod you, if nobody has to reward you, if you are self-motivated and self-regulated, you can have it, you can be it, you can do it. When you are a true hunter, you don't go by time, you go by the gazelle. You don't hunt from 8 to 3. Why? Because the gazelle may not be open from 8 to 3. You hunt until you get a gazelle, and you don't stop until you get one. And then you get another, and then you get another, and you get another. Listen to me, a 9 to 5 person, they make a sale and they're excited. When you get to my level and you get one thing, then you try to get to the next level, then you try to get to the next level, then you try to get to the next level. A true hunter hunts. A true hunter's goal is not the prize. A true hunter's goal is to hunt. That's what they live for. They live to hunt. They don't just live to catch it. It's the whole process. I'm saying that some of you in this room, you might not be a lion yet. You might have small beginnings. You might not have a lot of money. You might not have a lot of resources, but there's no excuses. And I need you to understand, for those of you who are 70% beast mode, 30% gazelle, that's just enough for that other person to outdo you. There are only 86,400 seconds in a day. And you gotta not only operate in them, you gotta do it quick, you gotta do it fast, you gotta do it in a hurry. Why? Because there's somebody else who's on the same track you on. Somebody else, they're on the same path that you on. It's somebody else just like you trying to do it, and sometimes they're working just as hard as you're working. They're putting in just as much sweat, just as much tears, just as much blood, but you just gotta do it what? You gotta do it faster than they do it. You gotta do it quicker than they do it. Are you listening to what I'm saying? That's why I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, because if you're getting up at 6, you might be smarter than me. You might have more privilege than me. You might have more resources than me. You might, but I'm gonna get up earlier than you, and I'm gonna do it faster than you do it. So by the time you get up with all your resources, by the time you get up with all your privilege, by the time you get up with all your stuff, I've already finished the race. Are you hearing me? It's hard. Yup, it's hard. Yup, it's difficult. Yup, why? Because the process is weeding out the weak. It's weeding out the weak. And so sometimes you got to play hard. You got to play physical. You got to play tough, because the game itself is tough. The game itself is hard. But I know you got what it takes. Listen to me, this is how you do it over 6-7 years ago, with no money, no human resources, no building, no funding, no support. The first thing we did was we dreamed, we wrote the dream down, we slept the dream, we ate the dream, we rehearsed the dream, we looked at the dream, we talked about the dream, we slept with the dream, we woke up to the dream, we wore the dream, and now boom, it's our reality. And for some of you, you stop dreaming. You dream for a week and you stop because things around you don't look good. You dream for a month, then when you get hit in the mouth, you quit and you give up. You dream for a while, and when people tell you crazy, and when people tell you stupid, and when people tell you can never get done, you stop dreaming and you go back to knowledge. And I dare you to use your imagination. I dare you when you're broke to use your imagination. I dare you when you're rich to use your imagination. I dare you under every single circumstance. Keep dreaming. Keep looking at your dream. Keep focusing on your dream. Keep going after the dream because that's where true success is.
That's exactly where true success is, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to tell you, you must own your dream. See, when I watch that video all the time, I get excited, I get pumped up, I get ready to do some great things. And let me tell you what, see, when you watch my intro video, you see that I had a rough start, but my dream never died. And when you watch that video, it said, hey, we struggled for a while, but the dream never died. See, when you have a Mount Everest sized dream, you have to go after it. You can't just wake up one day and say, I'm gonna climb Mount Everest. You have to keep dreaming about it. You got to work on it, and then you got to go after it. See, if you want to live your dream, I'm telling you that you can. If you want to climb Mount Everest, I'm telling you that you can. You just have to put in the work. You have to be willing to go after it. You have to be willing to never give up. You have to be willing to keep working every day, every night, not some days, not most days, not every other day, but every day. You have to do it. Just like I realized my dream, I was broke at 29, and by the time I got to 50, broke at 29, and we said, hey, when we get to 50, we want to retire and we want to have $1 million. So that was the dream. That was the goal. Then we started working on it, and then we got after it and we hit the goal by 48. See, your dream doesn't have to be about money. It can be about anything. It just needs to be your dream, and it needs to be big. And when you own your dream, let me tell you what, nothing, no one can get in your way. And let me tell you what happened with this dream. So at 29, we were broke. By 35, we fixed those issues. We said we want to go to $1 million. We hit the goal by 48. And then from 48 to 50, we hit $2 million. Then from 50 to 52, we hit $3 million. You see, folks, when you have a dream, a Mount Everest sized dream, man, things happen. It just changes. And all of a sudden, goals just start. You just start conquering those goals and hitting those goals. Let me tell you about this. You see, you may have a friend that's around you and they don't believe. You may have a colleague around you and they don't believe. You have to be the one to stand up and say, I am going to hit my dreams and my goals, and you have to be willing to go after it day by day by day by day and never give up on these dreams. And let me tell you what, when you do that, folks, man, it changes everything in your life. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I want you to see me. I want you to understand something. I am no one special. I'm just a child of God that's in the world, and he's blessed me to do some things. And that's because I took his words and I put them in action. I follow his plan and I put my words in action. And when I say I put those words in action, that means that I live the dream that he wanted me to live. So I'm telling you, you can live that exact same dream. You have to be like that Chinese bamboo tree. And see, the Chinese bamboo tree, it takes 5 years for it to pop above the surface. But once it pops above the surface, boom, it can grow as tall as 90 feet tall in 5 days. And let me tell you, folks, the question is, does it take the Chinese bamboo tree 5 years or 5 days to grow above the surface, to grow 90 feet tall? It takes 5 years is the obvious answer, right, folks? But let me tell you what, in those 5 years, when you don't see any evidence, you don't see anything happening, you have to still water the soil. You have to still till the soil and water it and till it and water. You got to keep working on your dream all that time, you may not see evidence that you're getting closer to your dream, but I'm telling you, you're just like that Chinese bamboo tree. It's growing underneath the surface. You may not see it. It's okay. And in that time, while it's growing underneath the surface, here's what's going to happen. You're going to have friends. You're going to have relatives. You're going to have coworkers. You're going to have associates. They're going to all come to you and they're going to say, I hear you growing a Chinese bamboo tree around here. I don't see anything happening. I don't see you living your dream. You say you're working on the dream. I don't see it happening. You just have to understand that you don't have to see evidence to know that it's working. In fact, I want you to say that. I don't have to see evidence to know that it's working. Go ahead and say it. I don't have to see evidence to know that it's working. I don't have to see evidence to know that it's working. You just have to know that it's working. So you keep tilling the soil and watering it, and all of a sudden, boom, one day that Chinese bamboo tree pops above the surface, and when it pops above the surface, it can grow as high as 90 feet tall in 5 days. So, but all that time, you got to keep working, and once it starts doing that, it's going to happen just like your dream. All of a sudden, you're going to start seeing your dream coming into life. All of a sudden, you're going to see your performance in every area of your life improve. All of a sudden, you're going to start walking differently. You're going to start talking differently, and people are going to notice that difference. Then all of a sudden, your mindset's going to change. Then all of a sudden, your bank account's going to change. All of a sudden, your friends are going to change. All of a sudden, you're going to start realizing your dream. I want you to know that you can own your dream. I want you to know that you can live your dream. I challenge you today to start working on your dream today, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month. Start working on it now. Just write it down and then make sure you look at it every day. Then you start putting action stuff into place so that you can live your dream. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and listening to me. I hope you have a great rest of your conference. Thank you, and you have a great rest of your day.